name is Mike Hurst from Highland Farm, and today I'm going to talk about fall needle drop. The fall needle drop happens to all evergreens, regardless of what kind they are, and usually it's found on the interior part of the tree, such as this right in here. Usually, all evergreens lose about 1/3 of their canopy every year. Most people don't see it because it's happening on the inside part of the tree. But regardless whether it's hemlock or a holly, a cypress or an arborvitae, a spruce or any of the pisceae, they all have this fall needle drop. Usually what happens is, like, again, it does fall on the inside, and sometimes when we dig it up out of the ground, they experience abnormally more fall needle drop than what they would do if they weren't in the ground. This is due because of the stress they have when they get dug up out of the ground. Since the roots have been cut when we dig them, there's not as many roots in the ground to support the foliage up top, so that the plant does not get as much water as it normally does. Therefore, the plant has to get rid of certain parts of the tree, and that's usually the interior parts. You can look at that and say, oh, it's very bad, my tree's turning brown, but it's actually a good response. It's better than having a part of the tree or a branch die off or any, like, all the lower parts dying off. It's much better than that. When a plant looks at itself and sees which part it can get rid of and which part to keep, the parts that it gets rid of is the interior parts, because it does not get as much sunlight, therefore it does not photosynthesize as much, and it doesn't create as much energy as the parts on the outside. The parts on the outside also are much more important because they are continuously growing, and they're going to be the parts where the new growth comes in for next year. So when you see fall needle drop, it's nothing major. It usually happens right after transplanting, especially in the fall, and you don't be too alarmed by it. It is a natural phenomenon, and that's all evergreens have.
And sometimes it can be quite severe and scare someone, is correct, Mike?
Yeah.
Like down here, you could look at these trees and say, wow, that's a lot of fall needle loss or drop. And actually, the trees are fine. They will grow through this, and they will fall on the ground and become the mulch for that tree for next year.
That's right.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And you can see over here, here's a holly, and you can see some of the yellowing there, and that's doing the same thing. It's got some needle loss. Nothing to be concerned about. We're here at Highland Hill Farm on Route 313 in Fountainville, PA. I'm Bill Hurst doing the photography. I own the Highland Hill Farm. And this is Mike Lewis of Lewis Wholesale Nursery. Mike is one of the premier growers that we use here at Highland Hill Farm. We also grow a lot of arborvitaes, but we are supplied by Mike. He's right across the street from our nursery and our operation. And Mike is an expert on raising arborvitaes. Mike went and graduated from the Longwood School in Chester County, Pennsylvania, and he's a premier grower in Pennsylvania, world-renowned grower. I shouldn't say that, but that is the truth. Everyone in northeast Pennsylvania and the eastern seaboard who raises arborvitaes and nursery stock knows Mike Lewis here. So he's well known, and he's going to talk to you today about arborvitae trimming and how to trim them properly. And these are small arborvitaes, a Zebrina, green giant, and an emerald green. Okay, Mike.
All right, what you want to do with your arborvitae is, when you prune them, you want to encourage them to have a single stem. Just one stem coming up out of the middle, like right here. What you want to do is knock back some of these extra stems. Here in the Northeast, we get a lot of wet, heavy snow, and if you have too many stems, they have a tendency to pull apart. Most of the time, they'll spring back, but sometimes you might get some breakage. So what we like to do is take the head shears and knock these tips back just a little bit, which will encourage a fuller, fatter plant, as well as keeping it up into a single stem. In school, we were always taught, when in doubt, cut it out. So you always want to, don't be afraid to take a little bit of foliage off the tree. Here, none of these plants, branches will come up into a single stem anymore, or into a multiple stem. You cut them back, this stem will dominate. Here on the green giant, we're going to do the same thing. This is a fairly full plant, so we're just going to tip it back all the way around to make a nice, fat, heavy plant. On green giants, we get a lot of vigorous growth, so you always want to make sure you just knock your tips back just a little bit, because they'll stretch out because they grow so fast. On the emerald greens, it's a much fatter, fuller plant, so you don't have to shear them nearly as hard. Just tip them back, go around the plant, and again, you have a couple little stems developing here. Just trim it back, so you just have one stem coming up to the top, and that'll make a nice full plant, which is what you want.
Okay.
That's it. Have a good day at Highland Hill Farm.
Okay, thank you very much, Mike. We'll see you. This is the foliage of a Helleri holly. Helleri holly is a green evergreen that grows about a foot high, maybe 2 foot wide. It's slow growing, and it's great for along a walkway, a pathway, or if you want to cover up a utility box. It's a nice evergreen. It's easy to grow. It likes a little bit of pruning. We're here at Highland Hill Farm on Route 313 in Fountainville, PA. And we have a lot of other types of hollies for you. For example, that's the green luster holly. And we have more hollies, as well as boxwood, and many other kinds of trees, plants, and shrubs. We're growing on a couple hundred acres here in Fountainville, and we also have a couple thousand acres in Milan, PA, in Bradford County. We deliver and plant up and down the East Coast, so call us for your tree and shrub needs at 215-651-8329. Again, this is your Helleri holly foliage right here. A nice little plant. SeedlingsRus.com, and our phone number is 215-651-8329. Thank you. This is the foliage of the emerald green arborvitae. We're at Highland Hill Farm on Route 313 in Fountainville, PA. These are our 3-foot emerald greens. And as you notice, everything is under drip. We do everything under drip here at the farm in Highland Hill. We're in Bucks County on Route 313. We do deliver plant and mulch up and down the East Coast. We have thousands of trees, plants, and shrubs for you. This is our back area where we store a lot of material. And this is looking towards our offices and greenhouses. These are Leland cypresses. The emerald green is a great plant for creating a barrier. The problem with the emerald green is it is not deer resistant. It'll grow to 10 to 15 feet with this real beautiful emerald green colored foliage. Give us a call at 215-651-8329 for your tree and shrub needs. Thank you. This is Bill Hurst. Or see us at seedlingsrus.com.